Hey, gorgeous souls, beautiful souls. Today, I am going to do a tarot reading on relationships and have a little bit of discussion about mirroring. So I'm going to do two separate readings. So choose one or two, which one you would like to apply for you. And also choose somebody that you would like to improve the relationship with. So it could be a partner, or it could be a boss, it could be a sibling, etc. So I've talked before, and many people have talked about this, that people are in your reality as a mirror. People are in your reality in one level, primarily to show you, to give you an understanding of what is on your energy system that needs healing. Because sometimes we can't see it. Sometimes we are too close to it to be able to see it. So when we have somebody that we're in relationship with, whether that's romantic or platonic, we can often learn a lot about ourselves at the same time. So I'm just shuffling the cards, and we're going to do reading number one on the relationship. So ukia jetianga bitiki kotareshitekangietsetsi ze etiacha. So listen with an open mind. And actually try and look at the interaction with new eyes. Like, say you were talking to a friend and they were describing their relationship to you and asking for advice from you. When you step out and look back and give advice to that friend, you can get a different perspective. So how about we try that today? Okay, so I'm just going to pull, first of all, just three cards. That we don't really need a lot. We're just going to look at this, these relationships generally. So reading one and reading two. I've just pulled all the cards. And I will actually pull a unicorn card for each of those groups to give us a further, a little bit more in-depth perspective on what's happening in that relationship and why it is the way that it is. What is it that it is teaching you? Ambati kechut sekinget samatia jeta kamatiacha. Ajotokoria sena. Idria shakumbo utaria ekikenia tsatseza. Okay, so we are going to look at relationship number one. All right, so there are three cards. Well, I will just do the first one. So this is the relationship in the past. This is the past card in the three card spread. So for the people that chose relationship one, this relationship was a new beginning. This relationship was represented by an ace, and this is the house of the true heart. So what this is saying is this was a new beginning, a new experience, a fantastic relationship when it commenced. So take a breath and realize. And when we get to the third card, you'll understand why we're asking you to take a breath. So the second card is the now card, the you now card for this relationship. And this relationship in this moment has the potential, if it's not already there, to be everything you desire. Where it is right now is represented by the 10 of Cups, which is emotional fulfillment, which is happy families. So this is the energy right now. Ujiunga kikana, kuyena kayeti andayana, koretia kangena. Ejotea sekikika ombaka chetsi ze enda kuyena. Izutushtukayunga kumbu utijeta. Asia kia ujetanaka. So the relationship in the future is represented by the 7 of Wands. And what this is saying to me is we have a tendency to, in a way, sabotage ourselves by our past belief systems. So because there was an ace at the beginning of this relationship, it was something new. It was related to a next level up in your evolutionary path. But what happens is we want to, as this character is, look back and compare it and say, well, if that happened before, it's going to happen again. And we don't even say that sometimes with our logical mind. We will say it from a knee-jerk reaction, from a belief system that we are trying to identify and overcome and, in a way, heal and rewrite. So if you have stress in your relationship, if you have hard times in your relationship, try and let go of past belief systems. Try and identify through looking at the patterns that happen over and over in your life, in your relationships. Identify that pattern and make a different choice if possible as you're moving through it. So the unicorn card for this first relationship spread is to let go of stress. Now, what it's saying is you've got it good. It is better than it's ever been before. Don't let the old ways overwhelm you. Don't let the old doubts rise within you. Don't let the old belief systems rise up and take a hold. So let go of, if you go into stress or you're moving into stress with this relationship, don't let that be the identity of the relationship. So we'll talk in a minute how we can work on this, how we can work on this, on how we handle the people that are in our lives, how we deal with that energy exchange. So for the reading number 1, it's better than you think. It's better than you remember, because it's too much a commonplace habit for us to overlay our past on what's happening now. And this is the point of looking with new eyes. This is the point of identifying patterns and making a different choice within that pattern. Okay, so reading number 2. Okay, so this in itself is a positive, another positive sort of a reading. Oshiati kama. So take a breath. Uyembakikani. Izutakiata chetsakamutaria shiesisena. He dayana yenaka. He dayanaki etsuzeziana makitaria sheshusena. Ikana tia chukatse. Sizezaniatrikikania. Shetoriesha. Shetutriesha ambaki kekiana zeza. Okay, so this relationship, for the people that chose relationship or the card reading number 2. So the first one is that in the past. So in the past, there was conflict in this relationship. In the past, there were tussles and battles, etc., etc. So this is a past situation. Now, again, it in a way it relates to that first spread. It is inevitable. We have been conditioned to respond to situations from how we learned about them when we were very young. So this relationship number 2, there will have been conflict, but the conflict is a past belief system that doesn't have to apply in this one. If you can pull out and look at this relationship with new eyes again and see the patterns and identify the patterns, I understand why you have this conflict. So this was in the past. In the now of this reading number 2 is the Sun card. So things are at this moment looking up. Now you might not know how it can be looking up. You might not understand why it's going to get better, but this card is telling us it will get better, even if it doesn't look like it immediately at the moment. And again, this hinges on looking at how we manage relationships, and how we were taught to manage relationships is what we saw, felt and heard in those early years. So we'll have a quick look, as I said, into that in a second. So it doesn't matter what your relationship looks like in the moment, it's going to improve. It's going to turn into a much brighter relationship. The outcome card, or the future card, is with regard to this relationship, friendship. And not only friendship, but understanding what is important to the other, understanding what makes each other tick, understanding the heart's desires of this person. So it's like saying that you have had a relationship previously on this superficial level to a degree, so like you've connected on certain elements in the relationship. But where you're coming to in this relationship is to connect on a deeper level. It's to connect on a soul level and understand what's important to each other. And this card to me is as essential to a relationship as the Lover's card. Ijukiunga kabate shiatsa. Ijukatea shuteki engi kamba atesh dushtena. Ushiatseki anna. Izikataria shetsi kengi kamba achetsi shakuka ezi engi akomoteana. Izetia shustakamuka taria shishishanania paka. Idea stukianda kamakiatsa sesiana edukreasha. So take a breath. Ejukiatsi sesi angamba ati jetianaka. Ushia zikinde kuka chetsa zakamba ati jetianakamaka ezute shetsakamaki eziana. So the unicorn card for this is to just be yourself. Now, what is being said here is part of the conflict, or part of the issue or the trouble or the challenge is you don't think you are good enough just as you are. That you try to be better, or you try to be what you think you should be in order to get the love that you need. So what is being asked of you in this relationship is to try and find being comfortable with who you are, trying to just allow yourself to be exactly as you are. And it's when we alter who we are that we are being inauthentic, and that inauthentic energy is being picked up by your partner, or by your friend, or whomever this relationship is related to. And that whether they can verbalize that or not, it can just be a gut feeling within them, it has an influence on how you are interacting. Ijo takaria chetsi kengi atsa. Ezo tayashia tsukumbo o te ji indea kukana ebiata. So we draw people to us for an energy exchange. It's part of the mechanism of mirroring. Mirroring is part of the technology of this realm. It's part of the how we get to see ourselves, how we get to grow and expand our perceptions and perspectives of who we are and where we are in this world and in this evolutionary path. So here's you, and here's the person you're in relationship with. So before you were ever born, you guys agreed to come and meet and come and mirror each other, to come and have this energy exchange. Now, this person in your relationship is exactly the way you need them to be. You want them to be. This person is saying the words that you have put in their mouth in one respect. We are the producer, the writer, the props person, the one that does the costume design for this person. So when they come into our lives, we start this energy exchange. Now we have this energy exchange with with everybody in our lives to lesser and greater degrees. So we'll have an energy exchange with our partner, we'll have one with our boss, we'll have one with our siblings, one with our neighbor, one with our councilman, whomever. And this energy, the reason we are connected is there is a mirroring going on. There is a similarity in our energy signatures. Now, it might be at opposite ends of that polarity spectrum. So they might be very opposite to you, but at the core of the energy that you are emitting and they are emitting, it's on that same energy signature. Ijuti kangia sasi shesha. So they're there and you're there because it works. It's a two-way street for you to show each other you. Now, what happens is energy goes to you and you feel it consciously and subconsciously. They might say something, they might direct thoughts towards you, but that energy ends up being felt by your energy system. And then you will consciously or subconsciously send that energy back. You might say words, you might have thoughts as well directed at that person. And they feel it and react to it and send it back. So this energy is going backwards and forwards, and everybody's feeling it, whether they understand it or not, whether they can define it or not. So we have different interactions with people. So we might only have two elements, two common issues that we are mirroring with certain people. Other people, there might be 5 different elements that we are mirroring. Other people, it might just be one element. So it is greater and smaller, the connection between people, according to what it is we are trying to wake up within each other, because that is ultimately the reason for the interaction. And these things can be positive. This could be unconditional love. This could be allowance. This could be compassion that you are exchanging with people. So this isn't just about friction. This is, what is it that you are learning from this person or gaining from this person? So when you are, say, in conflict with somebody, this gets very intense. It can be intense. So what I would suggest you do is that you move away from them at a certain point, just for a bit, let them go and deal with all the emotions, all the triggering that come up with relation to this, in relation to this person. So instead of automatically sending it back, and they send it back, you halt this process for a bit and you take responsibility for what's going on inside yourself, and not saying, well, they did this and they didn't do that, or I don't know why, but I don't like that person, etc., etc., or they're annoying me, or whatever it is. So if you take yourself off and just breathe and feel the energy, which is how you transmute the process, transmute the energy that needs to be healed. So what you resist persists, and what you feel will heal. And a form of resistance is sending the energy back. It is saying, well, why are they doing that? It is not fair that they're doing it. They shouldn't be doing it. All of the things that are involved in sending that energy back. So if we then take responsibility for this energy here, if we take responsibility for how we're feeling and breathe it and look it in the eye, it will start the transmutation process of that energy. And so when you come back to this person, you are no longer a match for their whatever is going on, whatever was going on previously. So you come back here because you've processed that, whatever that issue was, you've looked it in the eye. You haven't been victimized by that energy. You've been willing to feel it and breathe it and understand it. So at this point, two things can happen. This person, in a way, you give them permission to rise and meet you here. It's great if both of you are aware, if both of you, and you can discuss this energy interaction, how you're triggering each other. But sometimes this person isn't ready. So when you come back, there is a potential that they can rise and meet you here, because your energy isn't in a way holding them down here. So when you come up here, you begin to interact at this higher frequency and look at your interaction from a loftier perspective, from a big picture perspective. But if this person isn't ready, if this person is still not ready to let this go, they will turn and find someone else to do this energy exchange with. So these two readings are about you doing this, because in the first reading, what it would seem to be is that you have a tendency to look into the past, a tendency to bring your perceptions with you into each relationship that you have. And when you are triggered to go into the past by what this person does or doesn't do, what this is asking you to do is to say, hold on, am I overlaying my past onto this relationship? Am I overlaying my perceptions about how I am? Am I worthy? Am I good enough? Or perceptions about victimization, perceptions, all sorts of perceptions from the past. If you process it and understand that it could be, is this something that I've done over and again? How about I try something different? That's what that first reading is about. That we tend to sabotage ourselves by our past perceptions. So for the second one, again, look at this interaction with new eyes. Look at it from the perspective of moment of growth. And if you can grow within that moment of friction or interaction, that you will do this and this can potentially happen. And that's what actually the second reading is more about, is that this is definitely in the cards for you. Just hold that focus and just be who you are. Don't judge yourself. Don't go into the old belief system that you're not good enough. Don't go into the old belief system that it hasn't happened before, so it's why should it happen now? So these are a couple of thoughts around these two readings. So what I would like you to do is to think of the relationship that you had in mind. And I want you to feel how you feel about that relationship. And I'm going to bring through some energy and some coding to help evolve that energy in whatever is the best way, help you move it into a higher frequency. Okay, so settle in and just feel inside your body how you feel about that relationship. Asichenna miandakietse si zeeongiana. Ambena, oyatiakiatsoyendaka. And breathe. Iotea si a umba akiatsa. So you are much greater, that you are only seeing like a small part of the picture of who you are. Ijuti kangiatsia ze etishena, 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 shushia ze ekia. So it's like there's a painting in front of you that represents you and who you can be, who the truth of you is. And you are only seeing a square inch of it in one portion. So start thinking about yourself as being much greater, much bigger, much more detailed, in depth, expanded than you have been considering yourself. Ijungakia chienaiona, embiongea naiotea diaretica, eumber, hietiestukeana, sheatsa, shatsia, and breathe. Oshe kuyana, sha, 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 sheshushea shushea wo ungi kata, hesie tusheana, ambiata. So many love and many blessings to you, beautiful souls. Any questions, let me know. Have a fantastic, fantastic day.